It's quite a wonderful feeling to start to see the Abbey swell with arriving monastics. And it's always, when such a thing like this happens, I mean, the very privilege of inviting so many monastics into this monastery that 25 years ago didn't exist at all. And to see how full the room is already and only a handful of our incoming guests are here. It's just remarkable to reflect on what has happened here in this monastery in a very short period of time, actually. Many of our guests, including what I'm thinking specifically was Gala Rinpoche when he was here a couple of years ago, just kept saying over and over, so much in so little time. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And so not to get all excited about the Abbey per se, but for me it's also the swelling of the Sangha in the West that has been Venerable Chödrön's dream for many, many years, and also the dream of many, many of the senior Western monastics, and also of our guest teacher who is coming, Venerable Master Wu Yin, who in a way kicked off this understanding of how to really practice as a Buddhist nun at the time when she taught, responded to Venerable Chödrön's request to teach at the Life as a Buddhist Nun conference in 1986, in 1996, in Bodh Gaya. So when we talk about causes and conditions, we see how things grow upon grow upon grow. You could never have predicted in 1996 that the seed that were planted here planted other seeds, and they grew into this, which is not standing still for a second, as you probably have already recognized the minute you arrive. Nothing is standing still here. To continue and grow and grow and grow together. And so I want to really reflect first on how, as monastics, the more we are trained in what it means to be a monastic, because I'll tell you, in the West, we don't have a clue, really. We've not lived in a Buddhist culture. As I said yesterday, there are streams of thousands of years in the Chinese tradition and the Tibetan tradition where we are kind of merged. And here we are, Westerners from different places or modern people from different places. Not necessarily, I don't know if there's anybody in our community that was born and raised in a Buddhist country. Anybody, even our Asian, close to, but not, there wasn't a Buddhist country there. And so we're also working together to not only grow our wisdom and understanding of how to practice the Dharma, but in a special kind of way that mostly we don't even get. And certainly everyone around us doesn't get, and that is how we hold the precepts of a monastic at whatever level of ordination we have. Surely we know that that has an impact on how we practice, how we move in the world, how we relate to other people, how we share the Dharma. That's clear. But this understanding of how we embody monasticism is something that I find fascinating. It's a privilege to actually be able to learn the understandings of how we behave, how the external performance, it's not performance, the external, No, not a visualization. Manifestation. Okay. No, what I actually mean is that by learning to walk in a straight line, learning to walk in kindly moving through space, learning to wear our robes neatly, learning to guard our speech such that we are speaking in a way that actually reflects our aspirations to be people who are moved by kindness and are cultivating wisdom, cultivating some serenity in our own minds. We do that internally, but there's also an external behavior that comes along with that. That's where the visualization comes in. Once we get into recognizing this, and we have to do it, we don't come in walking like a monastic. Almost nobody. Hopefully, we're beginning to walk more like a monastic. And when we go out, we move in a way that's different. We've probably gotten feedback about that. We've also probably met other senior monastics whose movement in the world, the way they always speak to others in a certain kind way, who kind of address people with a certain grace, is all an embodiment of what we are doing when we study the Vinaya. We study the Buddhist teachings for the monastics. So it manifests, there's the word, you want a word, manifest. It does manifest in our behavior the more we practice. At the same time, the things that we practice to be monastics helps to influence our mind. So it's inner and outer feeding each other, right? Right. And so to be able to come together and study all the aspects of being a monastic is like miraculous. Miraculous, miraculous. I know in Taiwan, probably in China too, monastics just go to the temple and they get trained. That's part of what going to the temple means. And coming to the Abbey means we get trained too. It's not to deny that in any way, shape, or form. But the privilege, really, of bringing so many monastics together to study in this kind of way, to help reform and reshape our habits of movement, our habits of thinking, our habits of, like every aspect of our habits. We are trying to transform into the monastics that we are and deepen the monastic understanding and way of being that will continue to grow all through our monastic life. How do we know that? Because when we see our seniors, we know that they have also grown. You can see it very clearly. And we want to follow in their footsteps, right? So it's a thrill, really, to support each other. Different levels of ordination, different traditions will be represented here. We'll learn to understand how each other's practice and where we come from, and yet to be like the daughters and sons of the Buddha, to be the children of the Buddha, learning to behave in that lineage, like our teacher, the Buddha, is a real gift. So thanks for everyone who's already here. Thanks to everyone who will be coming. Thanks to everyone out there who has supported the fact that this monastery has grown and flourished and has the capacity to invite teachers who want to come and students that can learn from all over the world. That's amazing. And it's, yeah, everybody deserves credit for bringing it about.